All right. Good morning. I'm Steve Weber, and I am the host of the American Gumption morning show being hosted here on Spirituality Gone Wild. And today is Wednesday, August 26th. I'm jumping the gun, thinking it's Thursday. Today's Wednesday, August 26th. I have a fun show today. Debbie G., the co-founder of Spirituality Gone Wild, is going to join us for most of the hour. She'll be here in just a few minutes. We'll get her on after I do a little bit of a intro and monologue, but it'll be maybe a little shorter than normal because we want to spend time with Debbie. We want to get that behind the scenes scoop on Spirituality Gone Wild and on Debbie herself. So very excited that Debbie will be here in just a little bit. So. Hey, yesterday I mentioned that my father was in the hospital, and so I want to bring you an update. So good news, he's still in the hospital. That's okay, but everything went well. So he was admitted on Monday evening. What the story is he, 6 weeks ago or even longer, he ended up saying, "Gee, I have a little bit of an earache," and so. He ends up going over to the family physician and, "Oh yeah, you got a little bit of an earache," and, put some drops in it. And a week later, go back and they mention that he could have his ear flushed. And so anyway, that all happens. But then 2 weeks into it, it's like, this thing's just not getting better. And in fact, it feels like it's worse. And so then he goes to an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and the doc looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, here, this'll knock it right down, some kind of an antibiotic." And so then that happens. But of course, the ear, nose, and throat specialist is doing a little more of an advance. And so the next week goes by and it improves, but it's still not better. And then another week goes by, back to the ear, nose, and throat specialist, and the infection is now it's like one little spot, but it's still there and it's still irritating. And in the meantime, he feels like it's really moved into his jaw. My father is complaining that it's hard for him to chew. So this is now going on for over a month. And then finally, on Monday, he goes back once again. But in the meantime, he's not happy. He's not able to eat properly. It's still bothering him. It's sore. He wakes up in the morning and it doesn't feel so bad, but by the evening it's hurting. So anyway, the doctor on Monday says, "Oh my gosh, okay, let's just get you some really stronger antibiotics." And so they take him to the hospital, or they say, "We're going to put you in the hospital days and give you an IV drip of this stronger dosage of an antibiotic that will knock down this infection that's in his ear." And so anyway, he gets admitted Monday evening. So by Monday evening, they now are starting this drip, and miraculously yesterday, Tuesday morning, after 2 treatments, it's like much better. Conferences happen with my younger sister, who's in California, but she actually speaks with the doctor. She has been working as a nurse for the last 15 years. And so the ear, nose, and throat specialist and her were able to talk on the phone. And basically, from the family point of view, we feel like, okay, we're getting, she's asking great questions, getting a straight scoop. They're talking their medical lingo. And anyway, long story short, as of last night, when I went and visited him, he was ready to come home, and he's going to be discharged this morning. That's the plan. Well, now this morning they said, "Let's keep you for one more day," and that will mean that they're going to give him 3 more of these treatments throughout the course of the day. And so, but everybody was ready to send him home today, and now they said, "Let's just go for one more treatment." And of the heavy dosage. And then after that, it can be done. The antibiotic can be taken orally for the next several weeks. And so, this thing obviously was an infection that got, into the cheekbone right next to the ear. And so they're taking care of it. So good news is he's all on the mend and should be home, we'll hope, tomorrow. And I'll keep you posted. All righty. So yes, mentioned that Debbie Garcia is coming up in just a little bit. That'll be great to have her join us, and we'll talk about everything behind the scenes. So my monologue this morning is I've titled it Creativity Gone Wild, kind of in honor of spirituality gone wild, because the last year or two, really, but in some ways, the last 10 years for me personally have been kind of a creative period. And really the 15 years before that, when I was being Forrest Gump sitting on the bench, that was a very creative time. So I've had these spells throughout my life where, the creativity kind of comes out and, comes out in bigger bursts, let's call it. And it was funny because I remember way back I was working with Bubba Gump only for a couple years. I was in Charleston and I was with the director of marketing. And her and I were going in different places, and I didn't consider myself a very creative person in my life. I considered myself more of a doer, more of a person who would build things and make things happen. And so, becoming Forrest Gump was a very creative thing that happened to me, but I still didn't have that kind of shift into the mindset. And anyway, we were going in and we were visiting different people, like the convention and visitors bureaus in Charleston and meeting people. And I would do my little Gump thing, and she would talk about the restaurant and the fact that we're coming to town, going to open up in a few weeks. And so it's kind of an advanced promotion trip that was in there. And anyway, I remember she said to me, you are like one of the most creative people I ever met. And I was like kind of like taken aback, because I thought I didn't think of myself as a creative person. That one moment, that like her saying you're a creative person, that that made me think, maybe I am a creative person. And so it's funny how people will say something and it'll shift. So anyway, at that point, I am a creative person and I am a creator, and I started thinking of myself differently. So over the next, finishing out my 15-year run as Forrest for Bubba Gump, I started thinking of myself as very creative, and then that allowed me to go, I could become a speaker, and I could develop a message based on the themes from the movie and my own principles of Gumption, which I invented. And of course, though, that creativity takes a long time for it to manifest and for it to come out. Over the years, though, what would happen is I noticed there would be these bursts of creativity where it would kind of like come out fast, and then it kind of quieted down. And sometimes you're trying to talk about this all the time, where they just sit down in the chair and they start writing. And the good writers sit down every day and they write. And creativity some days is at a high level, and some days it's not at a high level. But the key for a creator, like a writer in that kind of a thing, is that every day they're sitting their butt down in the chair and they're creating, they're sitting down. And so there's lots of different writers who have said, creativity, creativity is 95% perspiration and 5% inspiration, or creativity happens once a day when I sit my butt down in the chair for 5 hours and start writing, and so it just sort of happens that way. And so obviously, if you're an artist, if you're a creative person, you just have to be disciplined, sit down, do it every day. That's one of the pretty neat things about the American Gumption Morning Show, is that it's forcing me to sit down day after day and about these things and talking about it and speaking them. So very, very grateful for that. Now, how does this relate to our guest? I've known Debbie G for 6 or 7 weeks now, not long. And she has been in this like huge creative burst all during this time that we've been getting to know each other. So that's been a lot of fun for me to watch that and to see that, and just know that, like, hey, I'm not alone in this journey that I'm on. She's, as the founder and as the visionary behind the whole website Spirituality Gone Wild, she's leading this creative burst for all of us. And of course, then I'm attempting to do the same thing just for my little American Gumption Morning Show. And so that's why I wanted her to come on board this morning, and we will talk about some of those things. So yeah, that's been a, like I said, creativity just kind of comes and goes. If you sit down and do it every day, you end up with like a little bit of something, but then you end up with like periods where like maybe a few days or a few weeks go by. Sometimes it lasts for a month or two, and boom, you look back at musicians and artists, and classic rock is where I cut my teeth as far as the music goes. Or I didn't actually cut my teeth, meaning I was creating classic rock, but I was certainly listening to music, and that was the influential portion of my young life, where I took inspiration from the music and from the musicians who were creating it. And as you look back and study some of the history of the different musical acts from that period, and I'm sure it's true for all musical acts of all periods, these musicians go through periods where they just have this great burst of creativity, and then it ebbs and flows over a few year periods. And it's more the exception to the rule of the artist who is creative throughout their entire career, where they just keep adding more and more and more, and evolving and changing and growing. So anyway, that's sort of my creativity gone wild thoughts for this morning. So I do have a movie life lesson that I want to share with you, and coincidentally, it has to do with creativity. So today's let's see. Let me share my screen here. So today is life lesson number 87 from the movie Forrest Gump. As you know, if you're been paying attention, the 1 year ago in 2019, it was the 25th anniversary, and so I took the 94 top life lessons from the movie, and I did a countdown from the end of March all the way through July 6th, which turned out to be the 25th anniversary of the movie. And I took one scene and I talked about, one particular life lesson from that. So let's go ahead and just play what I created last year.
Inspiration can strike at any moment in time. You need to be ready to receive inspiration when it comes. Hi, I'm Steve Weber, and I've been greatly inspired by the movie Forrest Gump. In fact, I've been so inspired that I've created 94 life lessons corresponding with the 94 greatest scenes from the movie. Why? Because it's the 25th anniversary, and it came out in 1994, so 94 life lessons.
Say, man, show me that crazy little walking.
Artists and creative folks and successful business people who get lots done carry a notepad with them at all times. Why? So they can write down their ideas when they occur and not be forgotten.
Music. Swinging my chips.
Likewise, we never know when we'll give inspiration to someone else. The very act of interacting with others creates inspiration.
You ain't not
Inspiration is a two-way street. Inspiration goes both ways. Young Forrest gave inspiration to Elvis that day, and Elvis took inspiration from Forrest. To be open to receiving inspiration from others takes gumption. To be able to inspire others takes gumption. Young Forrest Gump had gumption. Elvis Presley had gumption. And I hope this movie inspires you to be more Gump-like and to live your life with gumption.
All right, so there we go with scene number 87. Forrest Gump, young Forrest Gump teaching Elvis to dance. And, imagine that you're a boy and, some guy with a guitar comes to your house and spends the night because you let out your mother, your family lets out rooms for for rent for the evening, travelers passing by. And so here Elvis Presley comes through Greenbow, Alabama, and he needs a place to stay. He stays at the Gump House, and Forrest is now wearing the braces on his legs, so he can't even dance, or he can't even move the way a normal boy moves around. So he's kind of got that awkward move. Well, creatively, the directors and the producers of the movie managed to take that awkward walk that young Forrest had, and compared it to Elvis Presley's wild, hip swinging walk that he did. And so anyway, it's kind of a cute little story. But imagine if you're a boy like Elvis or like Forrest, and you end up seeing that you gave inspiration, and then you see on the TV that very artist doing the same kind of a move you did. I mean, how cool would that be? And we do that all the time. We take inspiration from others, and we can see it sometimes. We can see it directly. And is that stealing? Is that do you have to give credit for everything? Well, certain things you have to you have to acknowledge the people who inspired you, and certainly if you're borrowing directly from them and using their material, you want to do it. But if you just see, if you just take inspiration from someone, I think it's fair game, because there's all these ideas out in the universe, and we're all connected, and there are no coincidences, and so everything kind of all happens for a reason, and that's how creativity works. So I'm just. That was a good lesson for this morning's creativity gone wild. I do see Debbie G in the green room back there. She's warming up her singing voice. I don't know whether she's going to sing or not, but since she's practicing, I'm thinking maybe she will. Anyway, in honor of Debbie, I thought I wanted to name today's monologue "Creativity Gone Wild," because that's really how I feel like I've been in these last many years, but certainly in the last few months. And then I've seen Debbie herself doing that creativity thing going wild, as she's helping Spirituality Gone Wild grow, and with a new website and with lots of new things happening. So I think without further ado, I'm going to just invite Debbie to come and join us and see see what we can talk about. I know there's lots of things here that we can talk about. So Debbie, are you there? Hello.
I'm here. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Welcome to the American Gumption Morning Show on Spirit Gone Wild.
Woohoo! Thank you. I am thrilled to be here at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling you what, creativity has no rules on hours.
Well, I do really appreciate that your willingness to come join me this morning. It was 3 weeks ago today that you and Karen, the co-founders of Spirituality Gone Wild, joined me in week number 1, and I thought this would be a fun interview because there was a lot of I don't know about how that week for you, but my first week there was a lot of adrenaline flowing, and it was I was like to turn the go live button on for about 4 days in a row until I finally got that right. Fortunately, I'm past that and things are smoothing out a little bit. So.
Oh, good. So you can start doing some of my training for hosts then. Yay! Because he's a pro now. Y'all hear him? He just said he's a pro. So this is good, right? Hey, look what I found.
A cup of gratitude. A cup of grata. Yes, you did a morning show, Cup of Grata, for a long time, and it's a little bit on hiatus now, but tell the listeners about Cup of Grata.
Oh, Cup of Grata is a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality, and I have co-squirts. And my co-squirts come on just exactly the same thing right here. And actually, I'm resurrecting it. So it will be coming back in, actually, I've already got a lot of people scheduled. So I'm really stoked too. This is great practice right now for me to be up and at it this early, because I'll be doing my show right after yours. So that'll be really cool. But the singing, what do you mean singing? Am I supposed to sing? I didn't know I sang. Do I sing? Was I
Oh,
practicing?
no, I'm always a little bit of a smart aleck and say things to our guests where they can hear me and our audience can't really see what's happening. And so I just make up stories. My creativity goes a little bit wild.
He's making up stories, y'all. Singing in the shower. Who else sings in the shower? Seriously. But yeah, gratitude is the key to everything in life. And I just can't even believe it's been 3 weeks already. But that's just because time goes by. I'm hearing myself echo.
You're sounding good on this end.
Right. I'm echoing on mine. So that means you have an external speaker probably that has the sound coming out.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, let me turn off.
So
I'm turning off things that might be the issue, but we'll just have to go. You know what? I turned off one thing. So anyway, hey, I've got some screenshots I want to show you, and I want to share them, and I want you to just sort of react to them. How does that sound?
Sure, let's do that. That sounds fun to me.
Let's do a screen share. All right. So, who is this girl with no fear and no limits? I love that.
I love that too. That's me. No fear, no limits. That's my tiger. That's my. You want a reaction, Tiger Lady?
Yeah.
That's the one that takes no. I just go out and hit it. Period. You just got to go for it. You just got to do it. You just don't wait. Don't hesitate. Just get out there and kick some ass, for God's sake. Don't walk through the fear.
And here is your little gratitude. Who's hungry for some gratitude grub? I'm guessing that's one of your promos for the morning show.
Gratitude grub. Yeah, it's just it was a promo for actually it was also just I have all these weird sayings, and gratitude grub was just about how many yummy things can you think of that make you grateful. It's like food for your soul, so I called it gratitude grub.
I love that. Now, I've been taking inspiration from Alan Cohen for the last multiple years. Alan and I met at a conference in Sun Valley Health and Wellness Festival back in 2011 or 2012. I'm not sure. But anyway, I signed up for Alan's daily inspiration. And this is, so I've been getting them for like the last 9-10 years, a daily inspiration. And today it says your level of creativity is a good barometer for your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I think that that's exactly what Spirituality Gone Wild is attempting to help us do, become more creative by becoming, healthier spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Is that what you're trying to do here, Debbie G?
It's what I am doing. It's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
I love it. Good. Well, that's wonderful. Now, let's just get right down to the dirty little secret part here. How did Debbie G and I meet? So it's July 7th. It's my birthday, and I launched my American Gumption website on that very day. And now it's late at night, and I'm playing around on my Tinder app, and I see this picture, this exact one, and I can read that. I see, who is this woman? She's interviewing some guy. Who is this guy? And I could find the guy, and from the guy, I found him. I found you, and then I message you. That night, within about 2 minutes of finding this, I message you, and we end up talking on the phone like 15 minutes later. And 3 days later, somehow it got suggested that I should do a morning show. And a week later, I committed, or within a week of it, I committed to doing it. And we started a few weeks ago. So isn't that kind of a creativity gone wild story?
It's a creativity gone wild story, but it's also a it is also a story of synchronicity. Life is full of synchronicities, and it's full of there are no coincidences. And let's face it, the universe is quite humorous. I'm not even a tender person. I mean, I don't even have my description filled out, and I still don't, because it's just I'm just curious how these things work after being single for 5 years. I've got this dude right here just hitting me up, and I'm like, I don't know, he's cool. Hey, what's up? I'm
So I
open
have
to talking to everybody, you know. But yeah, you're just like, I mean, it was a no-brainer, Steve, to ask you to be part of Spirituality Gone Wild. You're a freaking genius, and you're a rock star, and I love that you're here. So there you go. I didn't set this up; the universe did.
Well, thank you very much. I'm grateful that I have been able to be part of it, and we'll talk a little bit more about Spirituality Gone Wild in a minute. But I have a few more Debbie G behind the scenes thing that I just want to share a little bit, and so
Okay.
people know who you are. Tell us about Wayne Zwick.
Wayne
Yeah.
Zwick. Oh, okay. So this is the father of my children. This was my first husband and my best friend. I met Wayne in 19. This is tough. He, ha.
I'm going to show a few more pictures of
Yeah,
him. Just
he's
because
he's such
you gave a really nice tribute to him. He
He's
passed
my-
away 4 years ago, and
yeah.
he is the father of your children. And you guys spent many, many years together. And while
there's
you
a
didn't
word-
stay married, you were friends, good friends, and co-parenting for your children.
That's right. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. If there's a where's Waldo moment for Where's Debbie? Do you see me? How can you go back to where you just were?
Back here, this one.
Go back.
This one.
Do you see me? There's a couple of me.
I-
I've got it. There's a couple in here. There I am, married. There I am on my wedding day with Wayne. Go back to where you just were.
Wait, is this the right? Do I have to go back one more screen? Oh, there you are. Oh, right down in the middle. Look at that. Look at the bride. Look at the bride.
I'm right there.
In the
There I
center,
am.
yeah.
And if you look up, you'll see Wayne and my boys, which Christopher is. You guys, he's 6'7", so he's standing behind me up at the very top there. Justin's holding the
my
baby.
gosh.
That's our granddaughter. And there's Wayne. That's probably a year before he died. Maybe about 2 years before he died. But yeah, I'm a living testament to life's short. You don't know what's going to happen in your life. I didn't think back in 1987 when Wayne and I got married that here in 2020 that we would, be celebrating his life, and that he'd be gone for 4 years already. So, I keep his memory alive. Led Zeppelin is our thing. And so he used to laugh at me because he'd say, oh, oy vey to the beginning of Dire Maker. It goes, oh, baby, that one. Okay, well, he'd say it was oy vey. And I'd say, no, it's not oy vey. Well, he thought he was like the Zeppelin pro because he met Robert Plant and John Bonham back in 1977 over at his Uncle Andrew's house over in England, because his Uncle Andrew and John Bonham were seriously great friends. So he thought he was like this pro, and I'm like, ha, no, you're not. So I love being right. So it was a really great moment for me, and I got to hold, hey. But anyway, so Zeppelin's sort of our thing. And in fact, when he took his last breath, I had put on All of My Love. What happened is, when we had to take him off life support was, this overwhelming feeling. I had stayed there and I stayed up with them all night, and I was playing Zeppelin all night long. And then when it became that moment where we had to say, okay, no more, I just got this vibe of I've got to put on All of My Love, which was also our wedding song. Now that made it harder for my son, I think, but there was that moment when he took his last breath. Is this the end, or is it just beginning? That part of the song was right when he took his last breath. Amazing moment in life. Life's short, guys. You don't wait. It's like that picture he brought up, the first one. No fear. Step through it. But yeah, this is my beautiful little family, and I adore them. And Look at my babies. I mean, they're 28, 28 and 32 now, but those are my babies.
We love it. Thank you for putting that, or thank you for permitting me to just go in and steal that shot off of your personal page and sharing it with the world. So I did
Cool.
not ask your permission. I had no fear. I may pay for it later on, folks. Hey, let's tell me about angels. Who's this little guy?
That little guy is the guardian at our new home here in Huntington Beach. My son and I have a new house in Huntington Beach, and it's great. And that little angel. I walked in, just got the keys, and I walked up, and there he was, just sitting. I mean, he's just beautiful. So he's our little guardian angel, and it's precious, actually. The energy of angels, they're for everybody and everywhere all the time. You can always get the energy of the angels anytime you want them. But I believe in angels. So,
yeah.
do you believe in angels, Steve?
I do believe in angels, and not only do you believe in angels, this is really the studio room that you've created for yourself. And if we look at your backdrop right now, we can see that it's one and the same. I've watched you create this and manifest this new house, because when we met 7 weeks ago, you were in Northern California. And then I'm like thinking I'm joining Spirituality Gone Wild. And then we're talking and you're saying, oh yeah, by the way, I'm moving from Northern California to Huntington Beach. And not only did you move, you've created and manifested this entire new place for yourself, space and place. I love it.
Yeah, it is keeping my vibration up, staying in gratitude all of the time, staying in gratitude for those things. But there's a secret, though. It's not just that. There's this other part of when you are creating your life, that your most magnificent life and self, letting go of outcomes, letting go of you being very neutral. Like, if we got the house, great. If we don't get the house, okay, cool. I'm good with that too. Get the car, don't get the car. Go with it. Go, whatever it is. To always be flexible, though, and always be willing to go with the flow and shift and change is where the secret sauce is. And if you do that with a very grateful heart, that you're just breathing and you're able to have the ability to go with the flow, I promise you, that is really the key. It is the ability to let go and flow.
I understand exactly what you mean, because I've been in that same space and journey these last several months, but certainly in the same time that you went from Northern California down to Huntington Beach, I ended up going from like this idea that I want to create the American Gumption show, and I was imagining it a year ago, being out on the road in the RV, meeting people, doing videos and interacting with people, and somehow creating stories. And then the realization this spring that I really need to get this thing virtually started before I have it actually physically started. Then you and I meeting, and like less than 4 weeks from the day we meet. So, and now this is the 4th week of the show. So it's just incredible the way this works. And I was not attached to doing this. It just came to me, and I had to recognize it, and I had to grab it. I always talk about the feather, Forrest Gump. The feather lands at your feet. The feathers are the opportunities that come into our lives, and we always get the choice of picking them up. And I'm grateful that I met you, and we were able to pick this up, and we're off and running.
Hey, do you know that there's another meaning of feathers there, Steve? To have feathers show up in your life. Sure. It's also the acknowledgement that the angels are with you, that a loved one is with you. It is the acknowledgement that the universe is definitely got your back. Whatever that you just see, like a feather pop out of nowhere and land in front of you, or just along the walkway as you're walking, that's a sign to you from someone who's passed away, or from the angelic energy that flows through this universe, or through source itself, manifesting to say, I've got your back. That's it.
Yeah, this is great. The feathers have been coming. So a week ago, and this is part of why I wanted you to be on today. A week ago, like the first week, I was just kind of pure adrenaline, and it was the 3rd anniversary show coming up on the weekend. So a lot of the other hosts came on, and we had all this kind of fun. And then week 2 came, and I didn't have any momentum because I put all my energy into week number 1, and then week 2 came, and I was like, oh, I gotta get some like long-term, momentum going here. And so that was cool, but it was a little bit of a, I had 3 guests that second week, but it was like I was like forcing things to happen as opposed to it just, flowing. And then last week, week 3, on Wednesday, so 1 week ago, I had 5 unplanned conversations that happened with people mostly that I knew. And every one of them was like a bigger opportunity. And it was all a result of being out there, manifesting, pushing, just putting myself out there. And I was like literally blown away. And I still haven't had a chance to follow them because they're just coming fast and furious. And you did this fast and furious thing. You moved. And you said, "Oh, I'm going to start a new website. I'm going to redo the Spirituality Gone website." And we're going to get to that in one more minute. But how did you keep up with it all during the time? Don't talk about the website yet, but talk about how did you keep up with all of those changes over that last 3-week period? It must have been overwhelming at times.
When I got tired, it's overwhelming. When I get tired, like if you're not well resourced, and that means food, sleep, and all of those things, the way that you take care of yourself, if you're not well resourced, then it can be overwhelming. But other than that, I've learned to enjoy life as it's happening. In other words, I'm enjoying the process, the experience, all of it. It's been a couple of years. We've been on a heavy journey for the last 2 years. It's been a rough freaking road since Wayne passed away, quite honestly. And it's definitely been harder, way harder. We had to figure out how to live again in our family without it. You know how hard that is? The last couple of years he was alive, we all lived together again. Now, not as we were just friends, and he was very sick, so we had to figure it out. So the overwhelm for me, or for most people, if you really think about it, comes during those moments of under-resourcing. Like when you're trying to do shit and you don't have the wherewithal or the gumption to get it to do it. Actually, so that's when you have to take the time out and self-resource it, which could just be take a nap. But I've enjoying the process as you're going and not waiting to get happy or enjoy it when you get there is the idea. You see, if you do it this way, then you get to enjoy it and magic happens. If I do it the other way, which is I'll be happy as soon as I'm done, and you get into frantic modes and you're anxious and you got to do this and you got to do that. Well, no, there's no enjoyment in that, and that's overwhelmed. That's extreme, like But I was put into a situation, Steve. I manifested losing everything in my life completely. I've had to rebuild my life a couple of times, and what you're seeing is a rebuild again. And what happens when you rebuild your life and you have the support of people who love you, you have caring people around you, and you just keep at it. You have belief in yourself. You know you're worthy. You know you're deserving of greatness. And there's so many factors that go into this. I stopped settling. I said, let's go for this. This was a big deal, Steve, because listen, where I was at before, I didn't pay rent. I just had to, we did work instead. So we did an exchange. I took on some big chunks of responsibility here, which was another thing, so really there's some fear that you walk through when you're getting ready to go take on a big responsibility, bills. Ooh, doggy. It's a whopper. But I couldn't be any happier. I know that. Listen, it literally fell from the sky into my lap. Went whoosh. Oh, look. Oh, yay. Okay.
I'm going to just show a few pictures of your
shit.
lovely home. There's your kitchen, obviously, and you know, a
Yeah.
dining area. And who are these lovely creatures here?
Well, that was fun. That's Foxy. That's my dog.
Yeah.
And and she's asleep right now on the bed. And then that's Ava. That's my son's dog that's my grandpuppy. And she comes to visit grandma and she loves her Starbuckies. She likes to lick the bottom of the cup. She's what's called a Pitsky. That's a pit bull husky, but she looks just like a husky. She doesn't look pit. Look at those blue eyes.
Oh, that's just great. Yeah. So I think that the point that I'd like to just kind of leave that with is that you were living in one environment for the last couple of years, and it was time to go ahead and make the change and to go ahead and do it. And I just watched it happen in a roughly 3 to 4 week period. And I want to take my hat off to you and congratulate you for doing what you said you were going to go do, and you did it, and you were having fun with it, because we've been communicating behind the scenes a little bit, and I've been seeing your post, and I've seen you share on other people's shows. So that's a pretty good transition. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other things you do. I met Tree Show, but he is a very special person to you. Tell us about who the Truth Seeker is.
Oh, I love Derek. You guys, you got to look truthseeker.com up. He has an amazing podcast. He also wrote an incredible book, and he's a radically awesome musician. And they've got some killer songs out there. So I play Truth Seeker pretty much at the beginning of most of my shows, and also he was our first guest on Spirituality Gone Wild. So that was another thing that was super cool. He made a guest appearance at our 3rd anniversary. He's been on several times since, and I just love him. And oh my God, TJ's going to be on with Truth Seeker. Oh, hot diggity damn! Isn't that just the coolest thing?
Yeah. On Saturday morning, you do a regular show, the Women Rising series, and I see Karen is there, and of course you are there, and there's several other lady, Andrea I recognize, and several of the other women. But you girls just get together on Saturday morning, and you take a subject and you get down and dirty and just let it rip.
Oh, yeah. This is Women Rising, and this is on Unify. We simulcast on Spirituality Gone Wild at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a huge show, actually. I am so honored to be part of this, dude. This is some craziness right here. These ladies are powerhouses, okay? And I was just blessed to be asked to be part of this. And it's incredible. You've got Miranda and Danielle and Rachel and yes, Andrea and Robin and Karen and myself. And it's just so much fun. In fact, we had a meeting yesterday because we now have our Women Rising group, and you're going to also see it on the Spirituality Gone Wild website. And you will also be seeing soon our website, unifywomenrising.com, which will be coming. So yeah, It's just super. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes. But this one is rockstar.
You are manifesting like crazy. So it's not just in Spirituality Gone Wild. It's with these other groups that are all kind of interconnected and all supporting and helping each other rise up.
Absolutely. I mean, this particular network that we go live on has millions of viewers. So what I'm excited about with that is that everything that Karen and I are doing, it is a direct reflection over to Spirituality Gone Wild, so that we're able to do two things. We reach a bigger audience, but then we expand our network, which helps our host, which is so that we're all collaborating together. This is how that it all works in unison. All of us working together for the same common good and cause. And that is simply to bring love and more appreciation to the planet. So when we do that like this, I mean, it's level up time, and it happens boom, boom, boom. And you're watching this happen boom, boom, boom. I'm not just saying this is a maybe, y'all. I'm not. I'm saying this is how that you do this. Well, then again, I could be wrong, and it might not work for you. I don't really know, but it's
Well,
how it works for my life.
I happened to be a guest on another show on Monday, and I was talking to the host, and of course we talked a little bit about spirituality gone wild, and she said, you are at the right place, and I my instinct, my heart told me when you and I met and we started talking, and I looked at what you guys were doing. I didn't have like weeks or months to kind of like watch all the shows and get to know everybody and figure out what they're doing. I mean, I was like, I had to just look at it and go, is this a good deal or not? And I went, yes, it's a good deal. And then to hear someone else who knows the industry and has been in it a little bit longer. I've been in my own personal journey of awakening and self-discovery and spiritual work, but I wasn't familiar with you guys. So I'm just grateful that I got to be part of it. So thank you once more. Thank you once more.
Absolutely. Who are you on Monday? Did I miss something?
Yes, I'm going to put it in the show notes because I've got these opportunities going like crazy. Yes. So
good. Where were you? Who interviewed you?
You're putting me on this. I'm the one asking tough questions right at the moment.
Okay, well, just keep going. Keep going.
This is give me just 1 second. Now we're going to jump over. This is terrible. I apologize. All righty. So we're going to get into the spirituality going wild part of it. But first, I wanted to take a quick trip over to Get Gratitude website. That's your very own website. And just tell people what services do you offer and how do you help people?
Well, this is Try Gratitude. TryGratitude.com is Gratitude Alchemy. It's where you do a 21-day course, but let's actually just go to spiritualitygonewild.com, Steve, because this is great, but this is where it's at. This is where the action's at now. So if you go over to the About Us, or I think it's or Meet the Team, this is, if you join our membership for $14, you get to take the Gratitude Alchemy course. But the Meet the Team, we have a listing of my son was working on this last night. We're getting ready to launch this in just a few days. And you can become a member for $14, and you can do my trygratitude.com, my Gratitude Alchemy for $14 because it's included along with a lot of other stuff in the back end. But we also have our Meet the Team, which is being built right now. And it's just, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. We are going to be offering all kinds of special offers and deals, and you get all types of yummy goodies in the back end. Free courses, Q&As with me and Karen and with you guys. It's just phenomenal. But if you go to over to meet our team, you should be listed right there.
Oh yeah, I got that, but I got that on a separate thing. Let me show you here what I got. So here's our two co-founders, Debbie and Karen, and you both have been from the very beginning, and you've done a variety of different shows. We talked about Capagrata, but you've been appearing on other host shows. Just like you're helping me this morning. You're going to bring back Capagrata in the morning. Karen has done a morning show over the years. Karen does evening shows. Just give us a quick thumbnail of why the two of you did this.
Well, I started Spirituality Gone Wild back in 2017 in August, and I had the insight for it in 2016. I met Karen through a guy named Bob Miller, and after I started Spirituality Gone Wild, I just said, Karen, you want to do a show on this network, join me, and she goes, yeah, that sounds like fun. So that's how it all started, so she's been the one consistent person with me throughout this entire time. We've had a lot of people come and go, and I always just sit back in wonderment at looking at the evolution They have one of those. Wait, our team right now is insane. You guys, you just don't even know right now. Okay, can we look?
Let's meet her.
I love them. Oh my god, I love these guys. Uh huh.
So I'm just going to roll through some of the other hosts, and you can. We don't have time to, we only have a time for just a quick minute on, each person, but just tell us about each one. So David, of course, is probably he's been there with Karen. He's been there the longest, I think.
David Strickle. I met him in person at my Mystic Mixer in Palm Springs, and I just absolutely love him. Taya Boot Camp, you guys. It'll change your life. Trust me.
Exactly. And he is on Wednesday nights.
He is on Wednesdays at 4. He is on Ohm Radio on Mondays at 2. And he's also on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. So you can catch him a few different times and watch for his summits coming. But David Strickle, if you like Abraham Hicks, you'll love David.
Yep. Awesome. And Josie has been with you for a long time, although I do understand that her show is relatively new, but she's been a guest ever since the very beginning of the show.
So with Josie, I met Josie, going on almost 4 years ago now, or it might have been 3. I'm not sure. But she owns addiction recovery services and advanced therapeutic services. I didn't even say that right, Josie. You can have my head later. She's got her new show, Drama to Dharma, because she channels the energy of Archangel Gabriel. And she also is a game changer in the world of recovery. She's a dear friend of mine, and we have a great business relationship, and now she's a host on Spirituality Gone Wild, and she's a freaking rock star.
And she does her show on Thursday evenings.
Thursdays at 7 p.m.
All right. So let's talk about what happens Monday nights.
Mondays at 5, we have TJ Woodward, who is the creator of Conscious Recovery. Again, we are back into recovery. He is TJ. TJ is one of the most incredible men I've ever met in my life. And I got to meet him right about the time my son decided to get sober off of heroin. So he was a big reason that Christopher he and Josie both are a big reason that Christopher is doing as well as he is, because they provided the resources that he needed to actually get a foothold in leading a life that no longer looked like addiction. So it's pretty great. TJ's a badass. And you guys can find him at tjwoodward.com, and his book, Conscious Recovery, is available, and his course.
And what can you say about this gentleman from England?
Oh, God, we got to love Saf. Saf Bucksy. He's Saf's so cute. He kicks my butt. He is just the cutest thing ever. He literally, he's in recovery too. So he also is a dynamic personality when he's interviewing. He really likes to get down to the nitty gritty of the change in someone's life and how that happened and what that was like for them. And he's always seeking knowledge. I met him actually through another network, and he just liked ours and decided to join us. And I thought that was a great decision for him to make. I love having him. He's fabulous, but he's in the UK. His show is on Thursdays at noon, and tomorrow he's on with Fantuzzi.
Yeah, his show is always Thursday night. So now I want to fill in a couple of blanks that I had just a minute ago. I was on with Natalie Coleman on Monday, and Natalie ended up taking Safe's place on that other network where he used to be. And so anyway, Natalie is also in recovery, and we spent an hour and we talked a little bit about my own recovery. I've been sober 3 years and 8 months. I was a beer drinker, and it just was kind of a habit that I picked up 25 years ago, and it became like a daily routine. And I finally broke that cycle. One of the things that came out of that interview, which I didn't even know until you speak it, is that I had done kind of the work that the 12-step programs do, simultaneously or after the point where they give up. I had done the work like pre doing that. And so when I finally just kind of outgrew the need to drink. And like I was ready to move on. So not only did a great job of getting that out of me, and so that's the connection of that. And Safe has invited me to be on his show next Thursday, not tomorrow, but in a week from now. So my agent and his agent are still going over the finer details. We'll see if we can make that happen.
I'll let you know.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. No, actually, staff is awesome. But I'm going to tell you right now that TJ Woodward is everybody's answer in conscious recovery. It's everybody's answer. Everybody. It is 12 steps is a good place to start, but let's face it, if it was working so well, then we wouldn't have an over 90% failure rate. So I'm telling you, conscious recovery with TJ Woodward is where it's at. Period. He's on the Wholehearted Network with Brene Brown. The guy has got it straight up going. He's amazing. I love this. I love him so much because he saves lives. Sir Joe Talig, yes.
And Joe just did a rebranding of his show in the last few weeks. He was a guest on the first week and so anyway, I've gotten to know Joe a bit, but he is finding his niche and he keeps narrowing down to what he's doing. So it's very exciting. But Joe interviews people on Saturday morning.
That is right. Saturday mornings, and it's Love Wave Live. I met Joe. I actually reached out to Joe because we are in a mutual community that Kyle Cease created, and I love Kyle Cease. And we also have some other mutual friends, the Volcanoes and Rosie and Kit Volcano. So I reached out to him and we were talking, and he did this thing called Love Wave Live, and I thought it was amazing. And we were talking about his live show or live conferences, and then the COVID hit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, do it on Spirituality Gone Wild. And boom, there you go. He is incredible. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He is so deep. He's a wealth of heart.
Yes, he is. It's great, and it happens kind of right before the Women Rising series. So you can listen to Joe, and then you can switch right into the Women Rising series. So it's a great way to spend your Saturday morning. All right, and then this new guy shows up a few weeks ago, and he's starting. How's it working out? Is he? Have you had to reprimand him? Is he getting any bad habits, causing trouble for you, Debbie?
He's definitely my menace for sure. I don't even know what to say. Yes. Yeah, that Gumption guy, he's got some gumption, I'll tell you what. But
all right.
But I think I'll keep him.
All right. Well, thank you, Debbie. I'm again just really grateful that I can be part of the show. And so one of the visions that I had because I remember we're like, you're like, maybe you ought to do your own show. And I'm like, okay, maybe I ought to do my own show. And then I said, well, what should my show be like? And you said, well, what do you want it to be like? And I actually thought that was really, really, really cool, because if you had told me what it was supposed to be like, I'd have been like, nah, I don't want to do that. And so I thought, I have actually the opportunity to do whatever I want to do. And I took about a day or two and I kind of just mapped it out. And I came back to you and I said, Debbie, I want to do a morning show and I want to do it 5 days a week. And I want it to be a variety show. And I want to interview people. And I want to do a lot of little short segments where I do this and do this. And I want to bring the other guest on, and I want them to kind of highlight what their shows are. And I don't want to do those big, deep, in-depth conversations that people do, in some of the weekly shows. I want to just have it kind of be fun and moving and going really fast. And you're like, okay, when can you start? Is that the way it worked?
That is the way it works. It works because this platform is about shining your magnificence and your light. And if I tell you how to do that, that's not how this works. Now, There's been moments where I've had to ask for certain, where I have had to say certain things, honestly. There's been, in the 3 years, there's been some shows where maybe something wasn't jiving or I didn't think it was. But really, for the most part, I stay out of the creation part of other. This is your gig. We're just bringing the platform, dude. Like, I'm not here to tell you how to do that. Now, if I thought you needed some help with something, I would say, hey, maybe possibly consider this or whatever. But I haven't had to do that with you. You really got it down. Most people know children don't need us to interfere as much as we do. Human beings don't need us to interfere as much as we do. And stop interfering in people. And this is a good example. When you allow flow, beauty and magic happen. Trust people. I don't need to tell you, because I trust in you and I believe in you, Steve. So I know what you're capable of because I can see it. My job is to hold you in that light and then and love you there and watch creation happen. And that's what we do.
If you want to be a host on Spirituality Gone Wild, we have a ways to work with us tab there, ways to work with us. And if you click on that tab, you could either be a guest or you could be a sponsor. And there's like a pretty simple form. You just fill in a few things and you kind of tell the story, and somebody from Spirituality will get back to you, and you'll just start a conversation. And that's the way it worked for me. I met you guys, I filled out the form, and here we are, we're doing it. So there's a lot of people out there who probably could benefit from being part of this platform. And I would encourage them to either, come on and join us as a host, and you can come on my show, or you can be a host if you want to, or you can be a sponsor, because we're growing. It's all good.
I love that you're bringing that up. And actually, right now it's 8:00, so we're going to flip over we shifted over to Cup of Grata, and because this is the beauty of having the network. You just kind of shift it. So to be a host, you guys, that is literally, I'm going to have to put it up as a waiting list. So I've got a lot of people interested in being a host right now, so I've got to put a waiting list up, because I can only take 1 or 2 a month. I can't, because there's some training and there's some stuff involved to become a host. And it just got more intricate with this website, because each host you guys are all going to have your own course for people to take, and workshops. So that's what's coming next. And so we're working on that behind the scenes too. But yeah.
So while you're working on the Spirituality Gone Wild platform and filling in all those pieces, I feel like I'm doing that same very thing with my particular show, and getting the guests to line up, I'm creating my own membership site. I'll have all the archives and the interviews with the different people and the segments that I do, and they'll be organized in a way that it'll be fun and easy for a member to come in and see that. They'll have behind the scenes things they'll have access to, and then there'll be the special things like the 94 life lessons and all the other things that I've been working on for the last 10 years that I didn't even realize they were. I was doing half that stuff I was doing. People looked at me and thought, why are you doing like this? Why are you creating this thing? And I go, I don't know, but I just feel like I have to. I'm being called to do it. And now I understand why I did it, because it's all part of the story, and it's all part of the American Gumption story and the American Gumption morning show. So.
Yep. And now, did you create your group for just American Gumption?
My group, I'm not sure.
Facebook group.
Oh, yes. So I have the American Gumption. So the thing I need to kind of shift into, I want to shift into, the thing I choose to do is this first month has just been about making sure that I know how to hit the go live button and the opening song and the announce the guest, and then hit the closing button and turn the broadcast off, and not say anything stupid while it's all going. So I more or less figured that out. Now it's really getting to the point where we start to segment the pieces out, start sharing them on different platforms, building the audience, and getting people to shift over to the American Gumption page, and then the Spirituality Gone Wild page, and kind of grow the thing and kind of focus it. Because we start out where we are, but just because we're there doesn't mean that that's where we want to build everything. We want to, be strategic about some of these things.
Right. Absolutely. So, and you're doing a killer job, dude. I swear, you probably run StreamYard better now than I think, well, as good as I do, as well as I do. You got it down.
I need an engineer to run the backboard, because when things are happening fast and if I have 2 guests on and they're coming on and you need to change the banners and all that, it's almost and then if you want to read the comments and bring people in, I haven't done a great job of interacting with people, so consequently I'm not getting as many comments as I should, but that you kind of have to have a person in the back monitoring them and help you bring it up. And so anyway, all that stuff is going to happen. I know what the challenges are, but we will just throw it out there and it'll come when it's ready to come.
Yeah, I do that with Josie. I go behind the scenes with her because she faces those same challenges. I've just been doing this for so long that I just do it. So, what I can tell you is that after time, that those things will get easier. You will have it'll be like driving a car, Steve. It'll just be like driving a car. You'll just be automatic with what it is that you need to do, and you're not going to really be thinking about it. I run huge conferences behind the scenes. Well, you know this, you're in one. So it's going to be, it will become an absolute, like driving a car, I promise. This is just learning how to drive a manual versus, for all you older folks out there, remember a stick shift car with a clutch?
Exactly. You had to push your left foot in. You had to move your right arm. You had to, keep your hand on the steering wheel. You were doing 4 things at once. And that's really what StreamYard is all about. And silly things that you didn't even think of. Backdrop. Well, you and I had a conversation about the backdrop, and you're like, dude, just put up a backdrop. And I'm like, oh no, but it's got to be the right backdrop. And that required me to think about it. And of course, my colors are the American Gumption, and speaking Gump for 10 years has been red, white, and blue. And so there's the red and there's the blue. And, it's not obvious when you start that out. You got to have it and figure it out. So it's all, but once it's done, and you really don't have to think about it anymore.
Nope. And I've been the same way with my kids too, by the way. Here's the black backdrop. That wasn't me. And there's the gray one.
And here's the black one. And then here's the red one. That was silly. So you try different things and it's like, oh no, blue, cool. Oh, red, white, and blue. American Gumption. Duh.
It works. And that's it. But I've always believed in letting people just do, flow. There was a time when I used to be more controlling and stuff like that. I was codependent. So I had a much different life and a much different reaction and response and experience. But I would say that this part of me has been something that's been forever. And that is loving and watching people grow and reminding you of your greatness, Steve, because that's really, if we each show up for each other like that, then this is what happens. You get magic. And look behind you. This is what's incredible, because you're in your studio behind you. You've got all of the awesome Gumption. Look at all that. It's just crazy. You've got a Wilson.
So there's Tom Hanks, of course, in his famous role, and Wilson, and there's Montana. Montana was a pretty important, 12 years of my life. That's where all the, the transformation took place. That's where the spiritual awakening occurred. How cool was it that I got to hang out in Montana for 10 years and, decide what I want to be when I grow up. And then, of course, there's the Wheaties box, that I appeared on because I went to the General Mills store at the Mall of America and I stood in front of the green screen, and then they handed me the Wheaties box fully finished. And now an important piece is the feather from the movie Forrest Gump that represents the choice, the opportunities that come into our life. But you also shared, what does the feather mean? Can you say that one more time?
The feather is the universe has got your back. The feather is a sign from a loved one or the angels.
Yeah.
So.
And then the chocolate box is the choices that we make in our life. Life's like a box of chocolates. We get to choose whatever chocolate we want, and we get to choose whatever life we want. I am such a huge proponent of the law of attraction. And so that's really what this is all about. This is the law of attraction. You get to choose whatever you want. So, and it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence when these things show up in your life, because you've essentially asked for them. And then the shoe is the journey of life and the chapters that we go through, and how we manifest one chapter, and then we go to the next one and the next one. And you said something just a few minutes ago. You learned how to be in the presence, in the present moment, and that's ultimately that's what Gump did really well. Is he was never worried about where he had been. He did tell his story, and he did fill in all from his childhood through his high school and college and army and shrimping days, and so, but there was no judgment about like what he should have been doing or what he didn't do in the previous life. He was just always fully present, and he wasn't even worried about what the next chapter was, because it just came to him when it was ready to come to him. And so learning to live in that present moment has been huge for me, and that's where we end up letting go of control. I was a bit of a control freak. I was a bit of an overthinker. And still, of course, it happens. But, you keep reminding yourself. That's what's cool about hanging out with this group, Spirituality Gone Wild, is because everybody like associated with the different, like they're teaching, they're helping us remember the way to be in the present moment and the way to enjoy life more. So pretty cool.
Exactly.
I'm pretty lucky. How cool is it that I get to talk to people about this all day long?
Well, it is. Isn't it a blast?
Yeah.
It's totally fun.
If you like this work, go over to Spirituality Gone Wild. Fill out the form to be a guest, fill out the form to be a host. If you're someone who just appreciates it and has a business that would benefit from these types of people, fill out the sponsor form. Let's make this thing rock and roll and happen. That's what I'm saying.
I love what you're saying. And membership. So the membership is $14 a month, and you get all kinds of great fun tools to learn and behind the scenes. My Gratitude Alchemy course is there for everybody, and there's workshops that are going to be given by our host and myself, and all kinds of other great stuff. We have events coming. We have a big event coming in November, and it's called Everyone is Recovering from Something. So we're working on that right now, and we'll be launching that out for everybody very shortly. And on Saturday, we're going to be having a huge, if anybody's interested in Peace on Earth and believes peace is possible, hit me up, because Peace2030.earth is who we support and what our goal and objective is in the world. So there's a lot of other parts of Spirituality Gone Wild that
we have
a lot of our components.
We haven't even had a chance to touch it all. But Debbie, let's go ahead and wrap up here. I went into your cup of grata for 15 minutes, but I kind of let you take over for that last 15 minutes. But it technically still is the American Gumption Morning Show, so we have to play the closing theme to get out of here. And you got one last chance, Debbie G, to say anything you want to say this morning. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait until you come back next time.
Who are you grateful for? Peace.
Peace. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for being a guest this morning, and please come back again. I just want to say one last thing here. I'm grateful to you, and here's why. Because yesterday I was, I was just I like the last week I've just had this like manifestation mania, creativity gone wild, and it's all coming fast. And I'm like, and I needed a day where I wanted to kind of reground myself, and so I thought, how do I do that? And I thought I'm gonna lean on Debbie, and I'm gonna ask her to come be a guest, because it would be what my soul needed today. And so you gave me that. Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. And I love that you asked me, and I'll always be, to the best of my ability, present when I can be. So.
All righty. Well, thank you again. And I'll just I'll let you disappear for a second, and then I'll hit the sign off screen. So, all righty, everybody, thanks a lot for joining us. We went an hour and 15 minutes this morning. That's cool. The boss was in the house, and so it wasn't like I was, it's like not like I'm going to have to explain it to her. She knows what happened. So anyway, it was a great day on the American Gumption Show. We'll see you tomorrow morning, Thursday, for show number 19. Today was show number 18. All right, have a great day, everybody.